All right, 10 seconds.
Take AM 1220 with you wherever you go on our smartphone app. KDOW, Palo Alto, San Francisco. A service of Salem Media Group.
You're listening to AM 1220 KDOW.
Sponsored by The Way to My Heart Incorporated.
Welcome to the Heart of Innovation. 60 minutes that could save life and limb, with new breakthrough ideas and innovation changing the healthcare landscape. Brought to you by patient advocacy group thewaytomyheart.org in partnership with Abbott. Here are your hosts for the Heart of Innovation, Emmy Award-winning journalist and founder of The Way to My Heart, Kim McNicholas, and interventional cardiologist and founder of the Save My Piggies Health Education Series, Dr. John Phillips.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. Dr. John Phillips is off saving legs today, so my dad is actually here pinch hitting as my guest co-host as we travel up the northwest coast of America to align with global efforts this week to bring awareness to the critical role that the oceans play in not only our planet's health, but our own health as well. June 8th is World Oceans Day. So who better than to feature on the Heart of Innovation on this day than someone who not only supports mindfulness, but also mindful activism. We don't actually have him live on the show today. It would be great if he would spontaneously show up. But I thought, Joshua Sam Miller, he is the founder of Embodied Sounds, who curates immersive sound and visual experiences that have long helped to heal the mind, the body, the spirit, and now the oceans through his latest project, Sounds of the Oceans. And Sounds of the Ocean, it's an immersive experience that not only helps all of us to reach a state of mental well-being, but also inspires all of us to be mindful about our oceans. So I wanted to share just a little, wonderful way to kick off the show, then, with a little bit of his music that is premiering around the world right now on World Oceans Day. So let's get into the mood, heal our mind, body, and spirit today, World Oceans Day, and also heal the oceans. Here we go. Wow, that was really powerful in just, it was a great way, I think, to kick off the show. We're going to take this show in probably a variety of directions. We also have one of our friends here, Susan Barlow, who's also a sound healer. She's also, one of the PAD warriors. We always talk about peripheral artery disease, which is those blocked arteries in mainly the legs that, left untreated, left undiagnosed, can lead to heart attack, stroke, and amputation. 3 in 5 people who suffer a heart attack have these blocked arteries in the legs. And if only they would know early on, and the doctors would check those leg pulses, maybe life and limb could be saved. But I'm hoping maybe Susan will jump in here and talk a little bit about her journey and her experience with sound healing. But we also, my dad, wanted to share just a little bit about his journey with heart disease. I know he's been on before, and he has something that really did, I think, impacted you in the very beginning was your discovery of heart math. And so really understanding the connection, between the mind, the body, the spirit, and particularly in this case, the heart and the power of how you feel and the rhythm of your heart in helping you to heal your mind and heal your body.
Your heart really is what
HeartMath teaches. And if you haven't been up on HeartMath, which is an organization which talks to you about how the heart is really the brain in your body, and it talks to your brain and controls it and makes the decisions for you and doing the controlling. And a lot of it's transmitted through the vagus nerve, which runs from down through your body. And you can go into it. And one thing I learned about with HeartMath and is that you talk to it and you breathe into your heart, you talk to your heart, and you transmits to the brain and makes the things. But one thing, going back to talking about the sounds of the ocean, was a little statement that I found about the oceans. Ocean sounds are soft noises with a low frequency and a rhythmic nature. They tell our brain that we are safe. Loud, sudden noises put us on alert, but the natural water sounds activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps us relax and unwind. That is probably why my late wife and I spent years going to Hawaii and having a room over the ocean and going out and listening to the sound of the waves, and also spending many times up on the California coast at Timber Cove with a room overlooking the ocean. So we could hear the sound of the waves, because it is so relaxing to get away from reality and get into your own world, and even into meditation and bringing your body back to normal.
And I think that that's actually something that is so interesting, whether you're talking about with HeartMath, did they have any music or anything behind it as well? Or was it just purely, when you were doing this HeartMath and these meditations, was it purely just words and just walking you through the connection?
It was basically words.
It was words.
Yeah.
But whether it's the whole thing, whether it's the words and the idea of the HeartMath and creating that connection there, or whether it's sound that actually creates the connection between your mind, your body, and your spirit, it doesn't really matter. It's whatever works for you, right? To get into that meditative state and get into that mode of relaxation, which really truly does help with healing. It's been clinically proven to help with healing.
Right. And they get into, and they do with the full moon every month, they do a global coherence, which you could be having. You get into it, and they do it 3 times a day at 4 a.m., noon, and 8 p.m. on Pacific time. So people around the world can join in. And in the global coherence, you're into a meditation state in which you are communicating with thousands of people around the world. And the feeling when you're doing that just becomes a strong, positive strength feeling, and you feel very well, wonderful inside, is what I can say. I've done it, and every month they have it, the global coherence, to match in with the full moon, and you can go to HeartMath and find out how you hook into it to their site.
You know, it's so interesting hearing him talk like this, and we're talking about, different ways in which you can get into these meditative states, whether it's just simply powerful words or whether it's sounds, because this wasn't my dad, before his diagnosis. And so I'm curious just from him, because I've never asked him this question, and we're going to go to break, and I'm going to ask him when we come back about what he actually thought of a lot of this mind, body, and spirit, what he used to call hogwash, prior to his diagnosis of heart disease, and then what was the catalyst for him now being a true believer. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss that answer. Next, right here on the Heart of Innovation. Don't go away.
Leg health can indicate risk for heart attack, stroke, and amputation. If you have leg pain or cramps,
you guys, I need help here, my friends. Who's here to co-host with us? Jeez. Man. There's Douglas. Douglas has got Stella. And there's
what do you need? Something for you, Kim. We have something here, and I go down to the beach a lot, and we kind of listen to the rolling waves, right? Also, we have something called the singing sands, which are specific to the Great Lakes. And it's when you're walking through, listening to the waves, and you hear the whoosh that your feet actually make across the sands.
Oh wow. Do you
And
mind
they actually celebrate it here.
oh wow, would you mind if I through to you as soon as my dad answers the question about what he thought about
Sure,
things?
I'll do what I can to help you.
Okay.
I
That
just
would
thought of
be
it.
oh, I
I
love
have
it.
one. I have one, Kim.
Oh, can you share too in the next and as
Sure,
we go? Oh my God,
sure.
I love you guys. I
Me
love
too.
you guys.
Me
We're
too.
here for you.
Hey Nancy, yay! Okay, good. This is gonna be fun. This will be fun. I wish we could get Susan Barlow because she's actually a sound healer in our group, and I can't get her to unmute. So if anyone has any ability to get her to unmute to share, that would be amazing. Hey everyone, my dad's doing great though, isn't he? He's a
Yes,
great pinch hitter.
I think you're both doing great.
Yay!
All right, everyone. We got 15 till we air.
And as long as Josh is happy, that's all it counts.
All right, we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
AM 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kim McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Today, we're talking all about different ways in which you can get into a meditative state and get into that healing of the mind, the body, and the spirit. We keyed off, our show with Joshua Sam Miller, who, because it's World Oceans Day, and he has this immersive experience called Sounds of the Ocean, and it's just absolutely wonderful. And it not only helps all of us reach a state of mental well-being, but it also inspires all of us, to be mindful of the oceans because it is World Oceans Day. So before the break, we were talking to my dad about how he was able to get into all of this mind, body, and spirit, what he used to call hogwash. And after his diagnosis with heart disease, it literally became a catalyst to keep you on a positive, journey to better health.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what was the catalyst for you to create that change in thinking to say, oh, no need for any of this, what is this energy crap and meditation? But now you're immersed in it and you're very faithful to your practice.
Right. Well, it was you who got me in touch with Neil Cannon at Vitality Secrets.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Neil got me into the program and got me familiar with heart math, which I got into, and he guided me through it and getting me involved and learning from heart math because they do have videos. And even for veterans, they have a special training program, no cost. And they have other training programs in that which you can look at and learn more from it. You can also go in and become a member, which I'm a member of their organization. And it's wonderful. You do the global coherence, you go in and do your meditations, which they teach you. And I do I call it one meditation is a heart global coherence, which I do to myself. And I also do an energy meditation, which you're pulling the energy into your body and radiating it through your body. And I picked this all up from heart math. But the other thing I picked up from Vitality Secrets was a thing called Wim Hof.
Oh, Wim Hof breathing. I don't know if anyone's heard of Wim Hof.
And Wim Hof is known as the
He's
Iceman.
Yes.
He does things like he teaches breathing techniques where you go in and take so many breaths and you do it into the belly, into the chest, release. And you do 30 or 40 of those, and then you let the last release go and you don't breathe, and you build it up from a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, and you aren't breathing. And when you come out of it, then you go through a period of 15 seconds of taking a deep breath and bringing it in and holding it and then expel. And you can repeat this 3 or 4 times, and it really does wonders for your breathing and for your body. But I learned that from Wim Hof's videos that I could get out and do push-ups and increase my push-ups without breathing. So after 4 sessions of 40 breaths, I drop down and do 30 push-ups.
On one breath.
No breath.
No, and absolutely none.
None. I let all the air out and I do it.
And at 80 years old?
Yeah, but I don't do Wim Hof's Iceman bit.
I know jumping into a big thing of
Jumping in-
cold water is not my
Jumping
my
into
vehicle.
45, 50 degree water, as my doctor told me, he says you have 3 things can happen. 1, nothing. 2, you can have a heart attack. Or 3, the shock will kill you.
Yeah, that don't even
My
risk
age.
that. Yeah.
And that's 82. So,
But all
but
the
I know-
younger folks are doing it these days.
Yeah. Younger people are doing it, and it does stimulate, because when I go on the road, like in hotels, since I don't have a shower that'll do that at home, I'll go in and take probably 2 minutes of cold water, just working my way down from the shower. And you can't believe what your body feels like afterwards.
But you ease it. You
I
ease your
ease
body.
it into
Yeah.
it. I ease my body into it.
Yeah, you don't want the shock of cold water.
Yeah, Wim Hof tells you how to ease into it and that,
Yeah.
but I haven't got into that. That's what I do though with the shower in the hotel rooms and stuff, like I did this morning.
You know, how is it different, the mental toughness that you get through these meditative practices versus the mental toughness that was driven in a very different way through your military training? 2 very different approaches to getting that focus.
Well, you just get it in and you start focusing, where you're depending more on your meditation and your relationship, as I look at, with God, on making you to go through. And as Kim knows, that right now in my medical condition, I have about a 5 body ache level.
For most of us, that would be a 10.
And I just keep going, and I just tolerate it and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So hopefully when I get back and I'm off the medication, which is going to expire, they're going to take me off of the end of the month, I can get a couple medical procedures done, and hopefully that'll take care of my problem.
And can you walk us through just a little bit of those meditative practices, the things that are going through your mind as you're trying to manage that pain and persevering?
I just take it and block it. I just go, hey, you're going to live with it and tolerate it and just keep trucking on.
And how did you develop that mindset? Is that just something that
No, I learned it all.
you just make
I learned it all from the Vitality Secrets from Neil, who was a great inspiration, and Heart Math, and from the Wim Hof studies.
And those all together have
Putting
really
them all together gave me the thing to go through. But it's just like being in the military, going into battle. You don't think, when somebody's shooting at you, and as I know there's people up there watching or listening, you don't think about what's going, your body. You're thinking about you and your shipmates or fellow soldiers or whatever. And that's a big factor that goes into it. So I've been there, done that, and
So
it's just something that I do.
Yeah, it helps you to get that focus. It teaches you to focus on what's going to help get you through.
Correct.
Right? Because if you sit there, focus on who's shooting at you and possibly dying, or in a sense now with so many medical issues, the same thing, focusing on those medical issues and dying and what's going to happen in the next minute, that's not going to get you motivated. That's not going to give you hope. That's not going to get you out of bed each day.
No. You got to get up in the morning and say, up. You get up and you're going to be a happy day. It's going to be a great day. And as I say, I start with my morning prayers and I just tell God, make it a good, happy day for me. And I move forward. And every now and then, thanking God.
Thank you, Dad. Well, coming up next on The Heart of Innovation, we'll have more with my dad, pinching in as my guest co-host. Also, we have some great folks in our studio audience that want to share their experiences with meditation and sound healing. So stay with us right here on KDOW. Don't go away.
Yep.
3 years ago, my symptoms started with leg pain and leg cramps while walking.
Okay. Thank you, Joshy. Okay, so we're ready. We'll go to where's it there? Alan, and then Marcia, and then Nancy. That would be great.
I got one too.
Got one too. Whoops.
Do we want to hear from Douglas though? I think we want to hear from Stella Douglas.
Yeah, I want to hear from Stella.
Oh, Marcia, I can get you first. Yeah. We'll go Marcia, and then we'll go we'll go with Marcia, and then Alan, and then Nancy, and then Douglas. It depends on how long the segment. We might move Douglas into the next, into the fourth. But we'll just see how it goes. Are you guys okay with that timing? And visit our website at God, I haven't heard this this commercial in a while. It's very weird to hear my voice coming back at me and being fed right back at me. I am so completely. This guy's gonna owe us. Seriously, to no show on a full radio broadcast. That's really crazy.
He wasn't the first.
I know. I don't know what people. I literally, when I was working at Forbes and I was doing this radio show, like no one ever no-showed. I'd never had this experience before. And it's a whole new age in the past couple of years in doing this versus what I was doing back in 2016. It's like people just don't care, or there's just so many different, podcasts and things like that people just don't take it seriously. And they just think, oh, it's just another podcast. And then they just don't show up.
I've had that problem. Speakers.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah, where they just don't show for different things. It's so weird. So I'm gonna go back into, keying off World Oceans Day. Still, I know I'm giving him all kinds of publicity, but it's it is the way it is. Okay. Oh, it was probably the dog. My leg is bleeding. I don't know. It's usually him that's bleeding. I don't know. Not those blood thinners.
All right, we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kim McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Dr. John Phillips is off saving the piggy, saving life and limb somewhere. So my guest co-host is my dad as we travel up the northwest coast of America to align with global efforts this week to bring awareness to the critical role that the oceans play in not only our planet's health, but also our own health as well, because June 8th is World Oceans Day. So I decided in this program to feature a sound healer, Joshua Sam Miller. He's the founder of Embodied Sounds, and he curates immersive sound and visual experiences that really have long helped to heal the mind, the body, the spirit, and now the oceans through his latest project known as the Sounds of the Ocean. At the beginning of the program, we featured a little bit of his sound healing as part of this immersive experience that he has created. That he says not only helps us all reach this state of mental well-being, but also inspires us to be more mindful of the oceans. And I took this little description off of his website, the Embodied Sounds website, and he says, why sound? Why sound? And it says, sound allows us a chance to turn off the mind and drop into a deep state of relaxation. And so his Embodied Sounds wellness experiences use a blend, really a blended approach of an ancient and modern practices that focus on sound and a vibration as a gateway to access our subconscious mind. And the goal of the experiences is to really invite deep rest and relaxation to explore self-inquiry and mental wellness in also in support of a more sustainable planet. But that's of course, secondary to all of us who may be dealing with an ailment, such as my dad with heart disease. And before we went to break, he was talking all about his meditative practices, both in words with heart math, but also in breath with the Wim Hof experience, and then along with sound as well, the sound of the oceans. And we wanted to bring in, as we went to break, quite a few folks in our studio audience here wanted to share their experiences with sound as healing. And so I wanted to start with Marcia. Marcia, go ahead and unmute. We would love to hear your experience, share your insight as well. Go ahead, Marcia.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for the opportunity of sharing my experiences. So sound, I think all of our senses are extremely important. They can cause anxiety or they can cause calming and nurturing, and sound of course is huge. I know for most of my life, when my father was alive, he had a houseboat, and I never felt more calm than hearing that water as the boat rocked, lapping up against the boat, and I would just sleep so soundly. And when that era of my life came to an end, I was like, okay, what now? And I moved to a farm, and in the summer, I would always sleep with my windows open. And it wasn't the ocean, but I could hear the crickets and, the rustling of the leaves. And, again, just very calming. Then I got a little bit afraid to have my window open for some reason, but, and I got PAD, and I started using a soundtrack to go to sleep to. Just, it could be the ocean. I had lots of different songs, and just so calming. It wasn't really meditation, but it was just a way for me to completely let go when I felt tight and anxious, and just, kind of be rocked to sleep almost. Then I got a CPAP and I can't hear it anymore. So I don't do it anymore.
That has its own calming sound, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. That hum
the
is
sound
my
of the
friend.
breath of life.
Yes, it's my friend. But anyway, I'm just a huge believer in sound as a calming effect on ourselves. So that's my story.
Do you ever still, especially on those warm summer nights, go out there before bed and just listen to those crickets?
Oh, yes.
Head in to turn in?
The last few nights, well, we had a storm, a really bad, not a bad storm, but a real heavy rainfall. And I'm out in the country, and the lightning bugs are everywhere the last 3 nights. And so that isn't sound as much as it is visual. But then the frogs or the little toads were out. And I mean, it was like a circus was going on out there. And it was just beautiful. I took about 100 videos. It's very beautiful. So I think really wherever you are, you can you can always get a soundtrack online, or you can, open your windows, or there are so many different ways to use sound. I think those drum circles might be about that as well. They have them on the beach a lot. I'm not really sure what the drum circles are.
And even if it's just for a few moments, when you shift your focus from yourself to just really allowing nature in and to just listen to something other than your mind, right? Let go of your mind and listen to what nature brings. There is a little bit of healing, even if it's just for that moment, right?
Right. Just to get you off into sleep and go peacefully, instead of, filled with angst, your troubles of the day, your pain.
Yep.
I agree.
I agree too. Well, you know what? This went really fast in this one. We're going to go to break because we have several more we want to get to as quickly as possible and give them as much time to share their experiences as well. Thank you so much, Marcia, for sharing yours. We'll be right back right here on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW. Don't go away.
Old dog's aging training tip number 1 is never give up. In
What did?
2010, I self-diagnosed an aortic aneurysm.
Oh, yeah.
Fulton fitted me with an AA stent graft. I needed to modify my Ironman training to protect.
Love cricket chirping. Okay, so we're going to go to Alan, Nancy, and Douglas. Thank you, Marcia.
You're welcome. I'm going into the store now, but I'm going to listen.
Yay. We're going to be listening to the sounds of healing via Nancy and Alan and Douglas.
I developed calf pain in marathons, and then real problems.
I still can't believe that not once did they jump on.
Pulse could be detected in my
awesome.
Right foot. In 2015, I had an ABI test in Mark Farber's facility.
That's just a beautiful thing.
However, in 2013,
if Joshua Sam Miller is listening right now, I'm hoping that he's going to make it up to us and do a little sound healing for us at some point.
Kim, do you or anybody else know what those drum circles are all about? Because I've never been to one, but I see them on the beach all the time.
Drum circles. I'll have to Google that. Drum circles.
Maybe Nancy knows. She's by the beach.
It's an informal.
It's the same thing as what you were talking about, Marcia. They think it's that connection with the world around them, and how it's what you were talking about, listening to your sounds. They believe playing the drum circles like that brings them together in touch with the universe.
Yep. Very well said. Very well said.
We have them here. I have not attended one, and we have Brook Green Gardens that has a lot of it.
Josh is writing bad things in the chat.
Well, what he put in there is also true. So,
the joint. Can you read it?
they do that when they do the ayahuasca.
Yes, I've had friends that have had that experience. I have something in my teeth. From back here, it looks like I have something in my teeth. But I'm sure that all of you in our live studio audience would tell me if I had something in my teeth.
I think you have Oreos in your teeth, Kim. No,
although I do have an Oreo right here that this was really funny. So I'm at the health conference last week over in Louisiana, and the junk food that's over on everybody's I shouldn't show this. That's actually one of our original sponsors was giving out Oreos. But these guys come over, and I'm like all about healthy stuff, over at our booth, and they're handing out junk food over at all these booths, and the guys come over and they're like, "Here, you want an Oreo?" And, I don't like to hurt people, so I took an Oreo and then I just kind of shoved it away because I can't have gluten anyway. But I thought that was really funny that, Marcia, I do have an Oreo, as a matter of fact, and you didn't know that, so that's kind of funny.
1220 KDOW.
Okay, Alan, get ready. It's going to be all you.
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kim McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Dr. John Phillips is off saving the piggies. I think he's actually saving the piggies. Maybe, is he doing that in Ohio or in Maui? Hint, hint. I'm with my dad. My dad and I are traveling along the west coast of America, and it's the perfect day to do that because it is World Oceans Day on June 8th. And what better way to celebrate World Oceans Day than to talk about the healing sounds of the ocean, or even just general sounds of healing. And in talking about this, and my dad sharing his meditative experiences and the power of the sounds of the oceans and why he traveled, along the coast, and why we're continuing to travel along the coast to hear the sounds of the oceans as part of our healing process. Some folks in our studio audience have wanted to share. Marcia shared the power of sound healing before the break, and now we have Alan who wants to share the power of sound in healing as well. Alan.
Well, we have a group meeting every week with our PAD group. Douglas and Marcia are in there. And where do they find me but by the beach weekly? I'm listening, So we have here where I live in the southern Indiana, along the southern tip of Lake Michigan, what they call, they have yoga groups that get together on the beach early morning, and they have something called Sacred Dunes that does this through the Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore. And they celebrate two things. They listen to the water, they do their yoga, and then there's something called the Singing Sands. And it's unique to this area, the coarseness of the sand. I don't know what causes it. When you walk and drag your feet, it makes a whooshing sound. So you can imagine through this yoga that they're doing with this whooshing sound and the waves, it's very relaxing, I would imagine. I've never done it myself. I go just to listen to the waves, whether it is a gentle, calm day or whether it's a stormy, lightning, thunder. Just enjoy the sounds and find it very relaxing after a stressful week.
It's so interesting to hear you say that because since I've known you, since we started working together through the Global PAD Association, I've had many a conversation with you where I say, well, where are you? And you always tell me that you are by the water. And so this has been something that has been ingrained, in you for a very, very long time.
I grew up on the lake. Yep.
And
Either boating, just being at the beach. You have a tendency to take it for granted when you live here as long as I have. But I'm getting, now that I'm semi-retired, I'm getting reconnected with a lot of things and the beauty of nature and sound, and taking more time out to enjoy it.
Great.
Yeah, I love that. And was there any sort of catalyst that really catapulted you back into reconnecting,
Well,
not only with the earth, but with yourself, as part of that, with yourself, your deeper
well,
self?
here lately, and talking about heart disease, just recently, I was new diagnosis that I have what's called the injection fraction in your heart, where that pumps the amount of blood out of your heart, and some of it pools inside my left ventricle, causing chest grabbing and so forth. Walking 100 yards, this has been getting worse over the past, I would say 6 to 8 weeks, and I find it improves at rest, and that's what the testing is showing. So going to the beach or listening to the birds out in the national parks we have here and so forth just seems to help that situation for me. It's a little different. I think this heart thing that I have, I'm not used to. I'm used to heart attacks. It's it can be stressful and very challenging to be forced to rest than just go like I'm used to doing.
I think that's something that he would benefit from heart math. So maybe I should
Yeah.
connect you with my dad after this, and maybe you can do a session of heart math with him, which has been so powerful for him. And it
This is
might
a
help you
whole
as
new
well.
diagnosis, so I'm learning.
We're all going to learn. Always tell you, and I tell everyone who's listening, we're all in this together. So we're going to get through this. Thank you so much, Alan, for sharing and for your candidness, and also helping us, because I now want to go out and learn more about that whooshing of the sand and seeing if they have that. Maybe as we're traveling up the coast, maybe there's a practice that we can find along the coastline here that we can participate in on our journey. I'd like to also get to Nancy. Nancy, would you
Yes.
like to share?
Sure. I live 4 blocks to the beach, to the ocean in South Carolina. And I've been trying to put some videos out of it lately because in the morning and the evenings, I walk twice a day and I make sure I'm walking by the ocean as part of my walk. But Kim, if you're traveling up the coast, just get a chair and sit on the beach and just sit there quiet and just listen. I usually fall asleep, but when I do that within 15 minutes, it just puts me right to sleep, the sounds of listening to the ocean. And I really believe, had I not moved here 31 years ago from upstate New York, I wonder if I'd be doing as good as I'm doing had I not moved here. And I just took a chance. My company closed up there, moved here, and started over and fell in love with it. And the ocean really has done me so good. It is calming. In the afternoon, I get that afternoon breeze. And it's just a beautiful place to live. And so I recommend it highly. But they also say another thing that I do, and I don't know if this is true or not, I would take my chair, I put it at the edge of the ocean where the waves coming in and out. And when the waves go out, they're pulling down on your leg, almost like the circulation's being pulled down your leg. I've heard it's very good for pad. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe you can tell me, Kim.
I've heard quite a bit from some of our physical therapists that actually even walking in the sand is really great at building strength in your legs. And as you know, the calf muscle is almost like your second heart. And so the more you can walk, the better it is for your circulation, whether it's for your arteries or whether it's for your veins. And so if you can add a little bit of tension to it through a little bit of earthing, bare feet in the sand, as long as you're protecting and making sure you don't hit any of, I'd love to say that our beaches are clean, and I think people should take better care of the beaches so that they are clean, so that people like you and me and my dad and everyone else can go out there and really enjoy the beach and enjoy the oceans and the healing that comes not only with the sound of the ocean, but also the feeling of that sand beneath your feet.
Yeah, and the smell of the ocean, the salt air, just air itself is so clean. So, and we're pretty good here in my town about the beach being clean. So I feel pretty good about that. So,
my late wife and I used to take her to Stinson Beach 3 times a week. It was a nightmare driving that windy Route 1 out from Mill Valley. But we'd walk 2 to 3 miles in the sand barefoot. And that really helped her. Well, it helped me too, but it was very relaxing, and taking the 2 dogs. Enjoyable. It was a great experience.
But it's interesting because you went from, my mom and dad would go to Hawaii every year just to get away, and they just liked the ocean and the healing experience, the ocean, right? But this one year, my mom was in a wheelchair because she had a botched back surgery. And so she said she didn't want to go. And my dad said, nope, I don't care how you're going, forever, unconditionally, you're going in your wheelchair. And when they got to Hawaii, they met someone who performed Reiki, and she said, you know what, I want you to take her from this clinic straight to the beach, right?
Yep.
And she, for the first time, was actually able to walk.
Wow.
After a long time of being in the wheelchair. And so that was pretty amazing.
Because I do photography, and we do something called coastal adaptive here for people in wheelchairs. So and they surf. They go out and surf from children up until whatever age. So it's great.
Amazing. Well, coming up next right here on the Heart of Innovation. Thank you so much, Nancy. We have another member of our studio audience, Douglas, who wants to share his insight and experience about the power of sound and meditation. So stay with us. Don't go away. Hey, Douglas, you going to be our closer, my friend?
I'm here.
So I have no idea what you're going to say, but we have 4 minutes. So watch the chat, and I'm going to go to you, but just keep in mind as you see the 2 minute and 1 minute going up, so you can help us close her on out. This has actually been really interesting. I've really enjoyed this. Actually, it's a good way to kick off June, right? We had our wonderful light a red candle experience last week, and which was really soothing for me. I don't know if anyone has seen those videos. All of you for participating last week. Your stories are so powerful and so inspiring. And Douglas ended up with about 600 views on
KDOW.
his overnight, and Nancy,
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kim McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We kicked off the show talking about the sounds of the ocean because it is World Ocean Day, and we evolved into not only the power of sound as a meditative practice for healing the mind, the body, and the spirit, but we got into breathing and we got into visual experiences, all that and more as a way of a coping mechanism in dealing with what ails us. We wanted to close out the show. We have another member of our studio audience who wanted to share his experience. Douglas, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm Douglas. I want a couple quick things. Talk about sound. How many of us can remember we have that one song, no matter what's going on in our lives, we hear that one song and automatically we're taken into another state, aren't we?
Yes.
Same thing with a sound. How many of us have that one sound that we will never, that just, no matter what's going on between here, we hear that one sound. For me, I grew up on sailboats in Galveston, and the sound of the halyard at night slapping against the mast, I will never forget that. And we all have that experience. And I want to share something. The Inuits, which are the Alaskans, they talk about the ocean. It's the beginning of life on Earth, and it symbolizes formlessness, the unfathomable, and chaos. So think about this. All the stuff that's going on in our lives and the insanity of living. What is the ocean represents a symbol of stability because it's always been there and it's unchanged for centuries. That's the one thing that they believe in the ocean is the stability of it because it's always been there. No matter what's going on in the world, the ocean's always there. So maybe that's a thought why those of us that live there or around it, it symbolizes a lot for us sometimes in that sense that no matter what day we go, what hour we go, it's always there. It's really not unchanged. And it'll always be there even after we're gone. And it's that, so the sound with that, and it all means something to each of us as individuals.
Mm-hmm. And I think even, just the fact that I love the whole idea of symbolism because I think that that's so powerful. Things represent certain things for certain people. And just even knowing that the ocean represents that stability, just the thought of that, just planting that seed in your mind, actually, when you see the ocean the next time, it's going to automatically be ingrained in you that it is this symbol of stability. So it could bring energetically that stability to you.
It's just I like the halyard slapping against the mast. My mom and dad were there. All the family was there, and it was time we all spent together, even with the insanity of life and everybody going their separate ways. I can always go back to the laughing and the fun and the bologna and cheese sandwiches at night, listening to the wind blow and how we shared those moments together, So there's that connection in it.
I love that we're ending on this note because I love that you bring in the idea of how sound can not only bring us into the meditative state, because just the power of those sounds that bring us, just general feelings like the ocean or whatever, but also they can bring good memories. Yes, they can bring bad memories too, but focusing on the ones that bring good memories, those also can bring kind of the healing, of the mind, the body, and the spirit through those sounds that bring those positive memories, right? It's just like the smells that bring those positive memories. That can also lead to the healing of the mind, body, and spirit as well.
So, and Nancy, imagine the smell, because I'll never, if you've been by the ocean, you'll always know that smell.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are, you can, if you're 5 miles from the beach, you probably can still smell it, because that smell just lingers in our thought pattern and how it symbolizes that connection with us.
It does. Well, thank you so much. On that note, I just think it's a great way to end this very powerful show on meditative practices through sound and through visual experiences, through smell, whatever it might be. Ways in which we can actually get ourselves into a state of positivity and good feeling, and ultimately that meditative state that can help us to heal our mind, our body, and our spirit. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Great kickoff to the summer. Make sure you walk, and especially walk along the ocean if you can. Get in the sand, get your feet all dirty, and listen to the sound of the ocean and feel the breeze against your face.
You've been listening to The Heart of Innovation with Emmy Award-winning